What is up, everybody? It's your girl Savon, and you're tuned into I'll Grab the Wine. I'll Grab the Wine is a show for the girls and the gals who sometimes need a little wine to say what's on their mind. Here we celebrate success, blackness, and womanhood. So get a glass and listen fast, and I'll grab the wine. I had to sip today. Um, y'all know I be I be having character building days. And I think it's been one of those weeks that you know you on this journey called life, you just start to realize who you are and who you're called to be. And as you're transitioning from who you're called to be and who you used to be, it 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 awakens you to who you truly are, but it also might, it might affect the people around you and it might not be like you thought it was. So, that's coming with its own feelings and emotions. And I think today's topic is a really good one. But first, let's shout out our sponsors. Shout out to the sponsors coming to a city near you. PawPaw's Tasty Foods. You can have whatever you want when PawPaw is in town. Follow PawPaw's Tasty Foods on Instagram. PawPaw's Tasty Foods on Instagram. Fresh food, not fast food, only at Sankofa Kitchen, 4141 West Wheatland Road, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Check them out at www.sankofakitchen.com. Get you a taste of Sankofa. Could you see yourself or your product on I'll Grab the Wine? Contact us today about advertising and sponsorship opportunities. All right. So, unfortunately, I know that y'all saw that it was a guest supposed to be on the show today, but unfortunately, I haven't heard back from them, and I'm just sending well wishes. I hope that Monty is okay. However, I pulled the show the week of Thanksgiving because I was doing a lot, and then the guest that week was doing a lot. So I was just like, I'm just, let's reset, but this week, this is something that I really want to talk about. So I'm still gonna do it and we're still gonna get it done. So let's talk about it. The topic of today is we're only getting older, baby. And the reason why we're talking about only getting older, baby, is because we're doing just that, only getting older, baby. And does it ever drive you crazy just how fast the night changes? I absolutely love that song. But for real, before the end of the year, let's just take a chance to reflect on everything, good, bad. And we're going to dive deep into all of this and go all the way back tonight on I'll Grab the Wine. So, the first thing I kind of want to get into is this question I couldn't wait to ask Monty, but definitely going to just kind of self-interview. So who did you think you were going to be when you were a kid, and how close or how far are you? So when I was a kid, this is going to be really weird. I come from a different background. So my dad actually comes from federal law enforcement, and my mom is a teacher. So I thought I'd be something like that. I don't know. I knew I would be like somewhere in suburbia, with my suburban house and my suburban husband with my suburban dog and our picket fence or what have you. Um, I I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I remember I was in middle school and I was sitting on the locker and I was talking to this girl named Rosemary, and I said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she said, "Doctor." And then um she asked me the same thing, and I just remember vividly. I was like, "I'm gonna be a star." And I didn't really know what that meant at that time. Back then I really thought it was gonna be acting. I didn't know really what that avenue was gonna bring me. But now that I'm on this path, I realize that I'm going to be a star, but it's not the way that I saw it, quote unquote. Um, how close or how far am I to that? Let's answer that one. I'm actually extremely ghetto compared to like this thing that I had in my head that my life was supposed to be. I know when I was a kid, I thought I'd be married by 25. I thought my career would be like just this wonderful, beautiful thing that blossoms, and I just climbed to the corporate ladder at the very top, and I'm a boss. Um, I will say that I did always see myself in leadership. I did always see myself in a position that I would be leading and guiding others to execute my vision. I will say that I always saw that for myself. I never saw myself just being told what to do. I always saw myself. I almost always saw myself as somebody who would lead. Um, as far as where like my reference to ghetto is, I never thought that I would be a single parent, to be honest with you. Um, when I think about it, okay, we got Monty. Okay, she's on. I'm going to wrap up this story real quick. So I have her on, y'all. Okay, this is Monty. No, we can't hear you, girl. Let me see. Let me unmute you.
Now,
Sure can.
hey girl.
All right, Miss Ma'am. Thank you for joining us. Okay, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how they can find you.
Hey, I am Monty, and you can find me on Instagram. Girl, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know my name. I changed my name for a reason though.
I feel
So it's like gold on Instagram. It's like G gold XNM. It was never meant to be found, to be honest. It was just for people real close to me and stuff like that. So I
She said, I'm
mean,
not gonna drop it. So
yeah, like we gonna get into that. But yeah,
period.
you can find me on Instagram or where she tags me at. And currently I'm in nonprofit. So I deal with more of the nonprofit world. I do finance, but it's like it's starting to get a little bit more deeper than that. So we're kind of like in a making of, I don't want to talk too much,
Uh-huh.
but I'm dealing with more stuff in the nonprofit just because I wanted to be more like in the community.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and like for different causes. And like I end up in the nonprofit world, like kind of like it just, that's where life took me. And so I don't know, like I just end up loving it. So like that's where I feel like I found my lane.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
I
girl.
think that's okay. So good, because that's literally what we were just talking about. So I was just telling the viewers that the topic of the day is only getting older, baby.
Right.
And the reason why we're gonna be talking about that pretty much is because that's all we're doing, and it's a good thing. It's beautiful how we just grow, we evolve, and we change.
Right.
However, because we're going into this new year, getting ready for this new year, definitely want to reflect on, who we've been, what we've been, and where are we going? Where are we going to go from here? So,
Right.
the question I just asked myself, and I want to ask you, um, is who did you think you were going to be when you were a kid, and how close or how far off are you?
As a kid, I felt like I was like optimistic.
Mhm.
Like I didn't like I had tried a lot of things like my parents made me kind of get into a lot of things, or I was just like I was an active kid. So like I felt like I was open to a lot of things. So I felt like I didn't put myself in a box. And
Mhm.
then I felt like when I was growing up, maybe like I didn't have time to think like that. Just what life was throwing at me at the time. Like I didn't have time to think like that. But then like I felt like when I did start to think like what I wanted to do, I started following what I knew, like my mom's footsteps. Like you know how some people have a doctor, their mom's a doctor, so they want to be a doctor. Or so like I took the dental route because everybody in my family was the dental route. And then I got in the dental route and I was like, no, this isn't like I loved it for the like it served its purpose for
Mhm.
but it just wasn't my lane. Like, but it was for I will say it was my lane for the time it was.
Yes, because things are always evolving, right? And it's
Right.
so crazy that you weren't even on, and I was already talking about like, excuse me, my parents' background, and I was like, if they had that background, like I was supposed to be suburbia, and
Right.
so to not to kind of create my own lane in the sense. It's so strange how just this generation in general, this generation and the ones after, we definitely deviate from who our parents were.
Absolutely.
But I respect their values and I
Mhm.
see how important it is as well. Um, Absolutely positively love what you said about like how you got in it and then you was like, you know what, this y'all, not me.
Girl. Okay, like one day, I don't know what happened, but I knew like the sign couldn't have got any bigger. And I was like,
Mm,
it's time. And
mm,
then that's that the job after that. And actually, this is the thing. Like, I feel like people need to like I feel like you can't miss an opportunity because I feel like the things that are you're scared of is usually that thing that opens a door that you don't even know like
mm,
it's gonna happen later. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like there was a lot of situations that like I was scared as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, but it really did open doors. And so like even the dental field, like I end up in nonprofit. Like, how do you go from that to that? You know what I'm saying? But I did. And so like I ended up going to the nonprofit and I've worked for the state too before, but like even then, working for the state, I was still working in nonprofit. So
mm.
it's like I just know where I need to be. And so like I've been focusing a little bit more in that. And I feel like you said with this generation, like if people knew what they liked
Mhm.
and like even if somebody said like, hey, I want to go be a painter, right? Like somebody like might think like painting ain't gonna get you a lot of money, right? Like just thinking small. But I feel like if that's something you really want to do, like you're gonna be damn good at it. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
and
it's
the money's gonna come.
it's
Like
not even that. Okay, so boom. It's okay, so it is what you're saying, but it's more so like we all have a calling.
right,
It is on us and upon us, whether
right.
we want it or not.
Hmm.
We all have a purpose. And with that purpose, we have options, right? We either are going to walk in this purpose
Right,
or we're not going to walk in this purpose. What I've come to find is that there is no in between. Like, I just believe that in my heart of hearts, that if for a moment in your timeline, you go and you start walking in your purpose,
right.
it don't matter how far off you get, God is gonna align you back. Like he's going
Exactly.
to. And
I
it's so crazy. Like for me, I was just starting to explain. I was when I first moved to Dallas, I had stumbled into modeling. I stumbled into modeling in the beauty industry and all of that. And I started making some really dope, deep connections.
yeah,
And that's when I started off. If you follow me on Instagram, 2 number 7s SEVON, I told my story yesterday on my Instagram about how I even got started in podcasting. I've been doing podcasting for almost 10 years.
yeah,
So when I stumbled upon modeling, then I stumbled upon podcasting, then I ended up meeting my son's father. And
mm,
that's why I was telling y'all back to connect the dots for you if you was here earlier. That's when my life got a little ghetto. That's when I kind of got off the path. And I ended up having my son, beautiful,
right,
awesome, loving, and amazing. And it actually turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me because on my path, I noticed that I was following everybody.
yeah,
In hindsight, I noticed that I was following everybody else's dream and everybody else's path. And
yeah,
because I was doing that, in hindsight, I know that I wasn't in alignment with my assignment. I was allowing things to happen that I didn't really want to happen. I was allowing people to dictate who I was and who I should be. And that's not even who I'm called to be. So
right.
um then skip. I found myself in nursing school. How that even happened. And
Right.
I will never forget my professor. Y'all see me shout her out all the time on my Instagram. That's J So Famous, J Lisa Jones. And she was my communications professor when I was in nursing school. And I ended up having to do this project and I just rocked out on it because it's just
Yeah,
my like I'm just naturally gifted at communications. I didn't know that then. But she pulled me to the side and she said, this profession is not for you. I will help you if you're trying to leave, but you need to tell everybody you love that you're like, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep rooting for you until you get out of this. And lo and behold, one day I was in the hospital, and I've told this story before. One day I was in the hospital. I looked to my left and my right. I was 2 semesters away from graduating. Looked to my left, looked to my right, and realized this is not for me.
Right.
And left that day, went home to my parents. I was like, hey, I love y'all and I'm thankful for all that you do. However, this ain't for me. Let's go try to get all the money back that we can. Because this isn't going to happen for me.
Right.
Ended up transferring, doing the communications, graduated in communications, top of my class with honors. So, and in that meantime, like, I ended up being on a television show. I ended up, having my own podcast, being on a different podcast, like just all of these things that have always been part of communications to here we are now.
Right.
I'm doing my thing in this lane. All of that long backstory to say that it was no way around it.
Yeah.
It was just no way around it. First of all, Jaleesa wasn't even supposed to be a professor there. He ended up just accepting it just cause. Like, it was just one of those things that she knew she was going to move on from. And then after that, it was like she kept in contact with me, and then I ended up falling into something else just from her. It was just like when I look back on it, it was no way around it. So
Yeah.
I totally understand what you're saying about how I don't even know how I got here,
Right.
but I know I'm supposed to be here.
Right. And I feel like during the process, like, it is a journey. So there's no shortcuts. Not if you want to do it right, at least. Like, there's no shortcuts. And then, like, there is a point where I believe that everything has to go wrong in order for everything to go right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like when you're closer when things are just going wrong, like everything, like, especially like I feel like when you've applied yourself, like when you can truly hold yourself accountable and say, like, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm doing everything that's just in your control, because everything's not in our control. And I just feel like,
Monty, you better preach tonight.
girl, like, I just feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I think it's so important for people to find their lane, because, like, if you like lip gloss, listen, you're going to have the best fucking lip gloss there is, okay? And it's going to do numbers, because that's your lane. If you like to plant plants, them is going to be the best plants, But I feel like everybody right now is chasing the same thing, and that's why people are, like, there's why a lot of people feel like they have no purpose, and that there's, like, no hope, and that they feel just defeated. And it's just because they're not chasing something that's just true to them, and that, like, we all fall short of that, like,
Yeah,
I was in the dental field, you know what I'm saying? Like, didn't have a clue, but I was just riding the waves, and, like, when I feel like when opportunities come, even, I also say this, you have to be willing to take the hard knocks. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially, like, if you want to, like, have a good, like, mental state. You know what I'm saying? Because success comes with a good mental state.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have all the money, but you can definitely lose it too. So, I feel like,
baby, let me tell
you gotta, like, that takes time, and you gotta, like, let it develop.
So, here's the thing. I'll be 100% honest with you all. You need help.
Yeah.
Everybody needs somebody. It doesn't have to be a group of people. It doesn't have to be you. Everybody needs somebody that is wiser than them. They don't need anybody that talks better than them. They don't need anybody that's a yes man. You don't need anybody that is pretending, that is what a vampire, like, you don't need that. What you need is somebody that is smarter than you to help guide you. Everybody needs that. It looks different. It may be a parent. It may be someone else's parent. It may be a mentor. It may be somebody that's in your career field that has done it. Like, everybody needs somebody to do just what you said.
Right. And you have to like feel like you have to be willing to learn. Like you can't think you know everything. That's not gonna get you absolutely nowhere. You know,
Listen, you
like
have to go ahead. My mentor used to tell me this all the time. Every time I would fuck up, he would be like, fail fast.
right,
Like, if you're gonna fail, because it's gonna happen, but you need to do it. Fail fast and recover, fail fast and
right,
recover. And I'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? Until I started failing, 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 failing. And I was like, this shit is not gonna work my way.
right.
Like, it's not gonna happen my way.
Yeah.
Let me try yours and see where it gets me. And it's a difference from sometimes you don't need life to be your experience. Let
You
someone
don't want it,
else
girl. You don't want it. You
like
don't
like let somebody else's life be the experience for you.
right.
Like, let it be that for you. And I feel like that's why I push for so much transparency on my show, to show y'all like I have messed up in life, in love, in family, in relationships. Finna start crying because I've messed up. And if you just listen for 5 fucking seconds, maybe you won't. Maybe I can spare you. Like,
I feel you, girl.
it's so amazing how it takes us all of these life challenges. It takes all of these things, like all of the things, to happen all at once. No, I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier, is that it's like, when you're on your breakthrough, when like everything starts falling and just going downhill.
And it's one thing after
Right.
like literally you laugh after a while because it's like you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But meaning because I read, girl, and you already know I'm going to ask you about Outwitting the Devil. You already know I'm going to ask you about that.
Period.
But Think and Grow Rich is very complex, so I have to read that book twice.
Mhm.
But
It's a book on principles. So that's what I like to tell people all the time. It is a book on principles. So a good, a good, I think the word is predecessor. Yeah, a good like book to read before that is Richest Man in Babylon.
yeah,
If you read that, huh?
that's my next read. Like, I cannot wait to read that book.
Okay, so this is how I would say read it. Honestly, I've read a lot of books. So if I had to get it, if I really had to give it an order, I would say Four Agreements. It's a book on principles, but it's a book on self-help. So once you kind of understand self, then finances and everything else kind of fall in order.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say first you read the Four Agreements. Then after you read the Four Agreements, I would say read The Alchemist if you haven't read The Alchemist. And the reason I say read The Alchemist is because it reiterates what you learn in the Four Agreements, but it puts it in story form to where like it's an allegory almost. And so when you read it, you'll be like, no, this is literally how life happens, exactly like this.
Yeah.
And so Four Agreements, The Alchemist, then you read Think and Grow Rich. And because you have all of those like base like knowledge and understanding of principles, because again, Think and Grow Rich is a book on principles.
Yeah.
Then after that, then you read Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah.
Then after that, you need to read Good to Great or Attitude 101. Attitude 101. I'm gonna lock in on that one, and then you're like you can start stepping up and reading the big girl books after that. Like if you're new to like finance, then those are really good books to start with. Very good foundational books.
Yeah. I feel like what I liked about Think and Grow Rich was really talking about like the temporary defeat. How literally there's a time where things are gonna go really, really bad. But the reason why most people don't get their success is because they quit, like right at the tipping stone, And it really just goes to show that like that's the only thing that's stopping you from getting from what you want. Like, you can get what you want the right way, it's just like
Listen, okay, boom. Let's go there real quick because I feel like going back to what this is all connecting the dots here. Listen, going back to what you said earlier, is that people aren't finding their purpose. They're walking in other people's purposes, just
Right.
trying to do what other people do. And I think that goes actually hand in hand together,
Yeah.
because it's like people see somebody else doing something that, mind you, they don't even want to do, but because
Right.
they didn't see them fail or they didn't know about the failures, they think they don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
When that's not true. And because we live in this social age and this digital age, it's like everything that is all good is out front, but we don't
Right.
see the things that are bad that are actually playing out in the background.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really important to show the contrast of two. Like both of these things happen simultaneously in
Yeah.
order to make this person.
Right.
So I think another good read, if you're struggling with understanding failure, is Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. I had to read that twice this year. Because it's been a little rough for me.
I'll sip some wine with you, girl.
I'll say that it's been a little rough for me financially.
Yeah.
Finding my footing, and then also just kind of coming into being an adult and being in relationships.
Okay.
Get off of this, because
Yeah, girl.
this is just it's a bit much.
That's
But
that's what we're here for, though.
girl, it is, because honestly, I think I pride myself on my show being so very transparent. And it's just like one of those things to where I'm telling you guys, y'all have seen me through telling y'all about my financial situation to being dead broke. Where I've told y'all before that I was 3 car payments behind. I was about to get my car repossessed. There were times that I had to choose if I was gonna eat or if I was just gonna let Noah eat today. Like, it was one of those things to where life was just really difficult, and I never said a thing to anybody around me.
Yeah.
And also just being in a relationship, I told you all that, this year I was going through something with somebody, and just going through a breakup, and that was difficult. And still trying to find my footing, and what does it feel like to have evolved from that relationship. And then also, to be honest with y'all, I've been fighting a lot of things behind closed doors about my health. And whenever I'm ready to speak about that, I will, because I want to be extremely transparent with that. And I'm still getting through it. And so just knowing that God is so good that you get through things.
For real.
And to be on the other side of so much of this, it's like, man, wow. But to get back to what we were saying, I'll be honest. I feel like that's the real problem, is that nowadays we want to be somebody else and don't even know that they got a whole lot of shit going on.
Well, everybody got problems. Like, that's the thing. It's just like, it looks different to everybody. Not everybody's just gonna come out and say it, and that is okay. Like, it's just like, I think people, like I said, people need to stay in their lane, because that's just what's causing them not to be like as content in their life. Comparison really
is
like,
a thief of joy. Come on,
it really is, like, so I feel like when you start, like, I feel like lately in my life, like, I have completely like learned to appreciate myself, and like the good and the bad, like my flaws and like the good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost like my flaws better, because it almost makes me like me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it does. That's the whole thing. It's like, we are a compilation of the good, the bad, the ugly, the spiritual, the everything that is made up of and encompassed of the world.
Right.
Once we realize that, like, we can ascend. Let me get to this next part of this question, because we're still on question 1 and we 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
So how How close or how far off are you to who you thought you were gonna be when you were a kid?
You know what? I don't want to put a time on that. You
Oh,
know,
that's right.
I don't want to put on time on that. I will say, I think she's impressed with the inner, like how much I've developed
Mhm.
um internally.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's impressed. And I'm not gonna put a time on that because it's just like you can't put a time on greatness.
Ah, period, sister.
And you can't. Like, I don't want to say when I think it's the right time because honestly, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just riding the waves right now, going with what it is. So I don't really want to put a time on that. But I will say, I think she's impressed. Like, and she's probably like shocked because she, like I said, I thought I was gonna be a dental hygienist. So
Mhm.
she's like, nonprofit, like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the answer to that question.
I know that's right.
What about
Um,
you?
I think that, you know, I think that to be honest, to be transparent from who I thought I was going to turn out to be as a child, I am extremely far off from who I thought I was going to be as a child. I'm going to be honest. However, I think I believe that in the best way and shape form possible. Like I am so glad that I wasn't who I thought I was going to be
That's good. Yeah.
because how limiting would that have been?
Right.
I can only imagine myself being a wife right now.
I feel you, girl. Well, you know what? Now I feel like I'm at a good time, but I'm so glad like I wasn't like, and no offense to these ladies because I really think they're the true superheroes, young moms, because I had a young mom, like
I'm a young mom.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I know what they go through, even just being in a child's shoes, because you have to think like my mom had me at 18. So
We growing
we
up together.
right.
Like
You
we're growing up together, and I noticed that because even Noah knows, like, bitch, when did you get rules?
right.
And so
I feel like I'm gonna have kids exactly when I need to, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'll probably be a way better mom. Like, I feel like I'll be a real good mom, because I waited at the perfect time.
do you
So,
want to
like,
be a good mom?
huh?
Do you want to be a good mom?
Of course.
That's
Like,
how you know you'll be a good mom. Like
I'm,
I like honestly, that's how it is. And it's no other way to say it. Like if you want to be a good mom, you will. Like it's no way around it. Like
yeah,
you'll look at your kid and you'll say, I have to.
right.
And so like I wouldn't worry about that portion. But I remember one time this guy that I was that we weren't dating, but we were really, really, really good friends.
Hmm.
And I remember him telling me, he was like, why do you want to get married right now? And at this time I was around like 23, I think. And I said, everybody should want to, procreate with somebody that they've been with, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I think it's just time, all of this crazy shit. Now that I think about it, 23, that was insane to even be thinking about. But like,
Yeah.
and so he says, I wonder what the world would lose if you became a wife. And that has stuck with me so much so that every time that I think about committing to somebody, even in just like in a relationship, like boyfriend and girlfriend, I think like, how much do I actually pour into my partner that I forget to pour into my own cup, that I am pulling pieces away of me that maybe the world needs to see. And it
Right.
makes me think about him. And I just think about all the time, like, I don't want to be a wife right now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more responsibility than I'm willing to take on. And as I pull back and as I realized just like going through this breakup, I realized like maybe he was right that I need to be myself.
Hmm.
And there will come a time when if not him, somebody else,
Right.
I'm supposed to be my true self with somebody else.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not looking to date right now, right? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what I'm looking to do right now.
I feel.
Like I know what I am doing.
Mhm.
And it's just being myself.
Mhm.
Like, I can't worry about whatever. Like you said,
Yeah.
the older you get, the more you realize that the older you get, the more you lose control. And it's the best thing ever because the more that I let go and realize I can't control people, I can't control what they do, I can't control how they act. The only thing that I can do is operate in self. And once I operate in self, everything else is going to have to align. It's
Right.
either going to align with me or it's going to move out of my way.
Yeah.
And I knowing that, it has really allowed me to just say, I am who I am.
Right.
And I'm only getting better. And so, I don't know. I said all of that to say, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, girl. I am living life, and whatever it looks like, girl. Maybe I'm living life with this man, and then maybe I'm living life by myself. Hell, maybe I'm whooping it up in the club, girl. I don't know.
See, I feel like in order, like, I don't think I'm opposed to dating. I just feel like I need to be like knocked off my feet. Like, wow. And it has nothing to do, because, guys think it's always money. It has nothing to do with that. Like, it's like, I mean, obviously I would want him to have something going for himself, but it's like, y'all don't
Love
even have
me.
substance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Love me.
like I would really need to, like, I would have to feel like, wow, I'd be stupid not to give him a try. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. I think that's the way that I need to start entering into these new.
Because I will give a guy his credit, but it's like, where's the credit?
Am I clicking? What's
Right.
not clicking?
Where's the credit? Like,
okay, so Monty, I ain't even gonna lie. If you and my close friends, you got to see me go on a whole tangent, like, cause I was
right.
Gosh, we gonna get on subject, but hold on.
No, okay, next question, because you already said, and I'll answer it quick this time.
No, it's okay, because I gotta tell this story now. Y'all was on Facebook dating, and these crazy men out here was talking about, don't talk to me if you only want money, and blah 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 blah. And I was like, let me tell you something. First of all, it's not tricking if you got it.
Right.
It's never tricking if you got it. Second of all, I am a trick, so I know. Like, I be spending money. So it's like one of those things to where, come on, bucko, step it up. Like, leave it alone.
Right.
Second, I will say that I understand why people have to say that now. Like, the more that I'm out, the more that I realize, like, you girls are out here really prostitutes. Like, y'all are really, and I don't care what anybody has to say. It's my show. I say what I want to. You are really prostitute, because what a prostitute is they do things. They are, no, maybe you're not a prostitute. Maybe you're an escort, but you don't want to say that. But that is exactly what you are. You're doing things for the company of men.
Yeah, people are raised like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's fine, but you was raised an escort. What am I supposed to say, Monty?
Yeah,
you are.
Yes, I agree. But it's like, I don't know, like, sometimes I feel for people like that. And only I say that because, like I said, I have worked in nonprofit, and I've dealt with people that were like sexual abuse, like, victims, and it's like, it's crazy. Like, sometimes they didn't choose that life, so it's like, when they only know one thing, like, you can't really blame them because they know nothing else, even if you told them, because they've known that their whole life. Like,
yeah, okay. So I feel like sexual traumas are different because
yeah.
I have my own story. And so I feel like
women, like, I don't think people understand how common it is. Like,
yeah, one in 3 Black women have sexual assault stories. So look to your left, look to your right. Somebody in your friend group has been sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Somebody that is speaking right now has been sexually assaulted. And more than likely, the person that is in your friend group has been sexually assaulted more than once. These are statistics.
Right.
So, and again, the person that is speaking can attest to that. So I can say from personal experience, I totally understand, and I do understand that it is different. However, I'm talking about the girls that this man is specifically talking about that we all know of. Like, girl,
yeah,
and go get a job too. But I will say, I think that I had to go like all the way left to come back right, because it's just like the dating pool has a little bit of pee in it.
girl, stop it. Like, I feel you, because I do feel you, because I'm like, girl, I say that all the time. I'm like, what is in the air? What is in the air? It needs to go. It
Little
filtered out. Like,
kid.
and like,
And like once I accepted that, I realized like, okay, well, I can navigate this a little bit better. Like, okay.
in the pool, that's good.
That's rich. Let me see. Okay. Let me go to this next question. Are you happy with where you are? Why or why not?
I'd say it's like I am, because of, like I said, how much I've grown internally. Like, I'm very grateful for everything I'm faced, but it's like I feel like the only reason why I'm not right now is because I'm patience is hard. And then sometimes when you don't know, like, I'm a type of person, like, I don't like new things, kind of, and I also don't like when I don't have an idea what's on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I and
Let me
I,
tell you.
I had to, like, really, like, think about that, like, recently, because I remember, like, I when I had went to middle school, I had moved middle schools, and, like, girl, the me and my grandma still talk about it to this day, because it was that bad. Like,
Hmm.
I had to go to a whole new middle school where I wasn't gonna know nobody.
Mhm.
Okay. I was never used to that, because all the kids I had knew I had grew up with. Like,
Yeah.
so ever been the new girl. So I was already not feeling this. Like, I was like, this ain't gonna work. And so, girl, the first day, girl, I'm in seventh grade. Like, grow
Mhm.
up, first of all.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm in
Mhm.
seventh grade. I need to grow up. My grandma was like, she dropped me off because my mom was in the hospital at the time.
Mhm.
And when I tell you, like, I was bawling in tears, like, hyperventilating, having a panic attack, like, just doing the most, like, having the worst, like, just meltdown ever. It was so bad. Like, I honestly would have been cool with my grandma chilling with me my first day in seventh grade. I didn't
Mhm.
care what nobody said. I was cool with
Yeah.
that. If that was gonna be my only friend, that was what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really care for that.
Mhm.
And so, but I ended up going to the school and actually end up liking the school. And so, like, now I kind of revert to that when I feel like I'm going through something new again. Like, I like being terrified is not always a bad thing. And so, like, I don't know, like, I try to just stick with that now. Like, that every time I start to feel that, like, anxious and scared again, I'm like, just go with it, because
Go back to that space.
it wasn't that bad. You know
Yeah,
what I
going
mean?
back to that
Like,
space. Yeah.
wasn't that bad. So it's, but I'm starting to, like, I had to, like, revert back to who I am now. And I'm like, because now it's a problem again.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, what's the issue? And then I, like, thought about it. I was like, this has always been an issue with me. Like, no, like, I don't know, like, even people, when people are like, Montanique, you know so many people. I'm like, I've known these people literally either since I was babies, or, like, there's, like, no really new people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even you, like, I got pictures of us in middle school. So it's
Oh,
like,
we have like earlier pictures than that. Y'all, this is my play cousin. Just I
right,
just need to fill y'all in.
exactly.
Like
So
this is
it's like,
actually my play
I
cousin.
go way back with a lot of people. I don't like really new people like that. Like, and it's
Uh-huh.
not that I'm like, because I'm not mean to new people at all. It's more of like their intentions. I gotta fill people out first, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but you've always been like that. I think you and I just have always been like I think when we're filling out people, you're the person that asks, and I'm the person that kind of sits back. So anytime that we were in the group, it was like you were always like let me figure out, and I was like, let me figure out.
Hmm.
And so I feel like that's kind of our backstory together, and I feel like that's where we resemble. So I definitely understand. But I want to go back to something that you said earlier, which is that you kind of have this fear of what's next. And I don't know if you all watch Les Brown, and I could do nothing but laugh and clap because I literally just had to go over this. Is that Les Brown says, please don't. This is a paraphrase. This is definitely a paraphrase, but he says, "Would you rather have unknown heavens or known hells?"
That's a
And
good one, girl.
it's like one of those things to where I get it.
Yeah, good.
I don't. Sometimes I like to think that ignorance is bliss.
Right.
Sometimes I really like to believe that. However, I know that my truth is something so different. I know that I'm called to be more. And because when you're called to be more, you have to do a little bit more and it looks a lot different and you have to work a little bit harder. You have to do something different. Um, so I definitely understand that fear. And
Mm.
I like the story of what the feeling that you go back to. It makes me want to kind of go back in myself and think about a time that I was scared to do something and I did it anyways and it helped me propel myself forward. And like I don't even have a story like that, like right off the bat, but it makes me really want to journal and dig deep and say, like, when was that? And channel that and tap into that moving forward for 2023.
Mhm.
I love that actually. Am I happy with where I am? Yeah,
That's
it feels really good. It feels really good to I have truly struggled. As I told y'all that I made the transition from being a full-time entrepreneur to getting a job in corporate America. It feels really good to know that Christmas is already taken care of as a parent.
mhm.
It feels
That's
really good to know that birthday is already taken care of as a parent. For years now, I've relied solely on my parents to please help me make this happen. This time of the year is actually pretty I must save that for later. But this year, I pride myself on transparency. And you're the only person that I'd share this with. So let's get it started.
yeah, cause I'm like, I'm here for Christmas, okay? Like, I just love Christmas. I love the lights. I love all that. So I'm like, I'm really glad that you feel that way this Christmas, cause Christmas
Listen,
should be
I
like
was
should be
always filled with Yuletide cheer. And I'm going to tell this story. And this is the first time that I've ever told this story on my platforms. It's the first time that I've ever told this story outside of people that I absolutely positively love. I I told y'all that as an entrepreneur, I was struggling. A few years ago, I was I was just a student. I wasn't even really an entrepreneur. I didn't have any income, and so I was looking for employment. I was just looking for. I was hustling, y'all. I was really just trying to do some odds and end jobs just to buy my child something for Christmas, just something. As a parent, you'll you if you ever really just wanted to do right by your child and you really didn't have the means, you understand what it feels like to be so like I felt so I can't even describe how I felt. I didn't I was just I was sad, I was depressed, I was disturbed, I felt incompetent. I felt like all of the negative things you could feel as a parent because I could not provide for my child.
yeah,
And I knew I was doing the right thing by going to school, but I could not provide for my child. And so I was like, it's holiday time. I really just I need to get some money to buy him at least one gift. I just want one gift under the tree to be from me.
yeah,
And um I was posting things on Facebook, like trying to get like if you know somebody that needs help, if you know this, all of that, just reaching out to my immediate network.
mhm,
Then I had got a response from this guy, and he was like, "Hey, you can do this for me, and I'll pay you." And it was really just like it was like an ad job. Like I was just posting ads, and it was pretty cool. And I was like, okay. And he paid me pretty quickly, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. I'll work for you anytime.
yeah,
Anything you need, like hit me up. I like, and then, back then it was $25, but that was $25. I could go and get my son something with that.
right,
And it was $25 that I needed. And so then I was like, if you have anything else, give it to me. And so he had some more stuff with some more ads. And then he just kept giving them to me. And I was like, cool. And then he was like, if you can, I have another job for you. And I was like, oh, what's up? He was like, actually, I just got done with a holiday party. This was right after Thanksgiving. I just got done with a holiday party. My house is a mess. You can come and clean up everything. And I was like, cool, no problem. I will get this done.
right.
And um I just want to make this disclaimer before I get any further into this story. If you are a sexual assault victim, this is my story and I am telling it to you all before we go to this next portion. And so I get to his house, it is spotless. And immediately I know that something is wrong. I realize that I am not safe.
Yeah.
However, I don't know how to operate outside of this because I'm already here. And
Yeah.
so I'm looking around, I'm like, hey, like, what do you want me to do? He was like, oh, we'll get to it in a minute. He was like, I actually have somebody else here. Give me a moment. I didn't even know anybody else was there because it was spotless, and two, it was silent.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking around and I see that there's liquor. And I'm like, what is going on here? This woman comes back from the balcony and she literally looks like he he just talked dog shit to her or smacked her or something. Like she just looks defeated.
Very. Yeah.
And so, and then she like walks out with her head down. She doesn't even speak to me, doesn't even acknowledge me. She just walks out. And I'm just like, that's pretty strange. And come to find out, um, so we're talking. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, why'd you like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, tell me what I'm here to do so I can do it because I'm just here trying to make a little bit of money for my son. At this time, I am probably a few months. I am a few. I'm actually. I believe I was. It was. It was Noah's second birthday. It was right before Noah's second birthday, and um, he says, "Sit on the couch." At this point, I am going to do what he says because I'm not close enough to the door. I'm very uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on. I sit down. I'm like, what are we doing? Can you tell me what I'm about to do? Blah, blah, blah. I just want to do what you asked me to do so I can make money and get out of here. So um, he says, I'm going to pour you a drink. And I was like, I'm good. I'm cool. I don't even drink. And so he pours himself a drink. Then he drinks. And um, it gets really graphic. And I'm not ready to share that portion. But
Yeah.
I will say that I was sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I
I'm sorry
was.
it happened to you because like people don't understand like that kind of stuff really traumatizes people like
Mhm.
as they get older and stuff like that, and it's like they got to deal with that. So like I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, and sometimes it's so crazy because there are days that I think that I'm over it, and I can smell something,
Mhm.
and I associate it with that memory. And you know, I I it's crazy because anytime that I was broke around Christmas time, I went back to those feelings, and I would get really, really, really sad and depressed. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even though that's why I can tell the story and be okay because I'm just on another side of that part of my life now. Being on another side, another portion of my life to where I'm not that low
Mhm.
that I can see the signs of anybody
Right.
trying to hurt me in any type of way. Like, it feels good to not be a victim.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I can describe it. It feels good not to or be a target. Like it feels good to be in a different position than that. And I've never shared that with you all, but I'm kind of glad I did. Um
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel
That's
like
good because I always tell people around me like in order to be free from something, you have to like admit it. You know, if you're holding it in, it's just gonna build. You know what I'm saying? So like the
uh,
second like you let it out, it's you're setting it free. So I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
God
You
release.
know, if, I just to be honest with you, I feel like I have I've done so much work on so many things in my life
Mhm.
that and y'all want to know something crazy is as much work as I did on that, I don't even think that was the lowest point of my life.
Wow.
Like, and that took a long ass time to be able to, like, mind you, this happened. Noah's about to be 6. I said that was his second birthday. So I've kept this from you all for a long time. And to be here now on the other side of it, even though I'm still triggered every now and then, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's a process. And I don't think I'll ever stop thinking about it because I do, especially around this time of the year.
Yeah.
Um, but I will say that I'm just, I can't give it my energy.
Right.
Like, I acknowledge that this is something that happened to me. It's part of my timeline, but I can't give it the power that it wants.
Hmm.
And I'm glad for that. I'm glad for me for that. So, am
Me,
I happy
I'm
with
glad for
where
that because
listen, am I happy for where I am? You damn skippy, I am. It's
what.
been a long time. It's been a long time. Okay, so let's get to this. I want to ask this question. What do you feel this year specifically taught you?
This year taught me nothing is guaranteed.
Come on, sis.
Nothing is guaranteed. And even when you think you have full of control of something, you will one day. You know, we all will be reminded that anything can just be taken or things can just change. Like them tables can always turn.
Hmm.
So it's like if anything, it's just more that. And I'm okay with that though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, I had to learn how to be okay with that. Let me just start there, okay? Because during those seasons, I had a scripture of, I think it's James, I think. But it was just pretty much talking about through your trials and tribulations to actually consider it joy, you know? And I actually had a scripture on a day that I didn't consider it joy. You know what I'm saying? But like it goes back to what I said. Like you should, because in the midst of your trials and tribulations, like the unexpected can happen. Um and it teaches you so much. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want you don't want to dodge the process. You don't want to dodge the lessons because of what you'll be through it, you know, and what you'll come out of it, you know. And so I feel like when God does say, hey, you know, look, I want to bless you, like you'll be able to handle it, you'll be able to maintain
Hmm.
because you're no longer the person you were when you were going through it and before. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come
That's so good. That was good.
a whole new person. So it's like I would definitely say that you cannot think you're in control of anything because you're not, and be okay with that. Like you really have to just roll with it. Like you really do. Like ride the waves and be like, and like I said, if you're wanting to go the right route, take the hard knocks. But if not, you can definitely find success, but it's just not going to be for long, you know? And where I'm trying to be, it's like I'm looking for longevity. So I don't know. What happened?
Hey, y'all.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can, girl.
Like I was saying, I feel like when you're searching for longevity, you have to know like it's going to take time.
Hmm.
And like I said, if you have to take the hard knocks if you want things right and if you want to even just become a better version of yourself even after the blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I do believe that you can get success other ways. You absolutely can. It's just a lot of those times are just temporary. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? And it's just like I'm not really looking for something temporary.
I know that's right.
So
You better in more ways than one. Come on now.
you already know, girl.
Let me say,
What about you?
I honestly, my biggest lesson that I learned this year, the thing that I feel like I could not escape from was every single, it's so similar to you, every single thing has to happen the way it has to happen. It ain't no way around it.
Hmm.
Like, it is so much. I have experienced far more character building in this 1 year than
Yeah.
I have in probably the last 3. I know that everything that happened this year had to go down the exact way that it did, or I wouldn't have been able to see the things that I needed to see to make me who I am called to be. It's no way. I can elaborate on that one all day. But one thing I know, and 2 things for sure, is that what I learned this year is everything got to happen the way it happens.
Exactly. Even the bad.
Girl, no, especially the bad.
Especially the
Especially the bad. That's the fucked up part about it. Like, every single thing had to go down the way that it did. It was no
hmm
way around it.
Yeah.
Everything. And y'all, I'm glad it did. Good, bad, ugly, all of that. Like, I'm so glad it happened like that.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. I'm gonna leave off. I'm gonna leave off on that one. That was a good note to leave off on. This was a really good, y'all, baby. We done talk. We only get in the
Yeah, this was good. I was nervous.
Girl, no, don't be nervous. And you especially don't need to be nervous for this next part because we are to the wind down. Y'all already know what it is. So, what are you drinking?
So my birthday was just recently, and my cousin, she bought me this. And I had never tried this, so this was
Yeah.
new. And I was like, let me try it. But to be honest, I really don't drink like that. Like it's very rare, but I was like, it was only right to,
I know that's right.
you know, it was only right. I wasn't even gonna do you like that. So I was like, I can have a drink, but honestly, drinking makes me sick as a dog. Like
Oh my goodness.
I'm not joking, but I will say it's only because I had stopped because I see you in the gym too.
Mhm.
And so like when I just really started getting in the gym, like I was like, I'm just not gonna drink like that. Like
Yeah.
and then after a while, like it becomes easy. So now when I drink, like people don't believe me, but I be sick as a dog the next.
No, I just I just recently started drinking in my let me not date myself, but in my first 25s is when I started drinking. So yeah, I just got into it, but I didn't do hard liquor for long. I left that alone. I drink wine, baby.
I feel like in my early 20s, that's why this topic of only getting older, baby, I would not go to my early 20s for nothing. Like nothing. Because I was doing it. Okay.
Doing
Like
it up. Why was we doing all that?
why?
Girl.
I don't know, but you gotta learn. And like I'm glad I learned then because I couldn't be doing the same thing. I just couldn't.
What? Can't even do it. But y'all, here's what I'm
Our wine
drinking.
of the day today is Stella Rosa Moscato d'Asti. It's a semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Its flavor profile is peach, apricot, and honey. It won a gold medal in the Los Angeles International Wine Convention. It pairs well with fresh fruit, chicken Alfredo pizza, and cheesecake. You can purchase this at Walmart for around $10. Enjoy.
Y'all, so y'all know that's what I'm drinking. Y'all know I love them 2 girls, Stella and Rosa. Period. Okay. All right, so now we are to Get Your Wine, and Get Your Wine is story time. Okay, that's where I read a story that somebody wrote in, and we will solicit our advice. You will go first, so there is no confusion. Here we go. Dear Say Mine, I am a 26-year-old male, and I just moved to a new city. I felt like I needed a new start. I was on some bullshit in my hometown, but I feel too old to be making the same mistakes. I have a daughter, and my child's mom was cool with the move until I moved. We used to be cool co parents. Now it's a little rocky. Kind of makes me feel like I shouldn't have moved. What advice do you have for me?
Well, I feel like, because I don't like, he didn't go into too detail, but I would say, like, for one, make sure the move was worth it because you have a daughter. So it's like, I feel like when you have a kid, you have to make decisions for that kid because you decided to bring them here, you
Mhm,
know? So it's like, and that's not even cutting too deep for him either. You know, I'm just saying, like, make sure he, like, if he did move, like, he's not out there, like, BSing, you know, because you
mhm,
have somebody that's dependent on you to be fed
mhm,
and just dependent on you to be in their life and just be there. So I'd say just, like, do what you said you were going to do and make the best of it
mhm.
because you have somebody that's dependent on you.
No, for real. I like that answer. I feel coming from a parent. Um when you have a good co-parenting situation and you were both in the same city and both of y'all were co-parenting really well together, I could see why that would make her distraught. However, I could understand being a parent and trying to navigate in a city and you're not succeeding. You
Mhm.
feel like you're being held back. You feel like there's not enough opportunity for you in the field that you want to be in. I see both sides very clearly. And I think the best way to navigate through this is to be an adult and to converse and to you can't just tell, you're gonna have to show. You're gonna have to assure your child's mother. Now, whether or not y'all are together, working on it, doing your own thing, it doesn't matter. You have a child, and that child should not be in the crossfires of whatever situation you have going on. But I feel that the best way to navigate it is through communication, always checking in, always telling her you don't need, she don't have to be in your business. You telling her,
Yeah.
you're assuring her that you made this move and it was the right one. And then I would also say show up for your child.
Mhm.
Nothing should change. Nothing should change for your child because you made a decision doesn't mean anything should change for your child. If your child has a recital, needs to be at that recital.
Right.
If your child has major events, you need to be at that child's major events. It shouldn't be your lifestyle change should not affect the lifestyle quality of your child.
Mhm.
So keep the child first and make sure that you're communicating because that's the only way that I could see. That's the only way that I could see as a woman um it going wrong. I mean, mind you, she's still probably gonna be upset if she sees you whooping it up on the internet because she gon' think that that's how he wanted to move around and do. And as long as you communicating and you showing and telling, it's not gonna look like that. So show up, do what you gotta do, be a man. Ain't nobody, come on, baby boy. What was his name? What was his name, baby boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. Y'all write in my show and y'all ask me for my advice. Don't write it and don't write into my show if you don't want my advice. All right. Moving forward, we are to let that shit go. And let that shit go is the part of the show where we have to let go of something that does not serve us. So, what are you letting go of today?
Fear.
That's right.
We're just gonna, like, that's actually something, like, I told myself that I would do, just like do it scared. Like, even if I have a panic attack, like, we're gonna do that and then we're gonna do what we need to do. So letting go of fear.
That's good. I like that one.
What about you?
For me, I told y'all that when I told y'all that spirit manifests itself through me, and I can always feel when I need to talk to my spirit for real, for real. Feels like a tap on the shoulder right here. And I'll be honest with y'all, I have felt somebody pulling on my arm for at least 2 hours now, and I didn't know why. So what I'm going to let go of is ignoring when I feel the tap the first time.
Mhm.
I have it really bad for having this feeling and just being like, it'll go away. Oh, it'll go away. Oh, it'll go away. Knowing that I need to connect with my spirit, knowing that I need to find out what's going on, because spirit is only here to protect us.
Right.
And if I ignore spirit, somebody that is for me, like, am I really trying to connect to the divine, or or is this just acting for y'all? Am I just shooting the shit with y'all when I come on here every day? Because I can feel the spirit and I'm ignoring it. So what I'm letting go of today is not listening when spirit is talking to me.
That's good.
Girl, letting that go. But you know, when you let something go, you gotta drink to that. And I'll drink to that is the part of the show where we celebrate something about you. So what are we celebrating tonight?
What are we celebrating tonight? We're gonna celebrate to letting go, okay? Because it took me a long time to do that. And that was just with anything, like even let go of people, because like I feel like I'm a type of person that, like, if you're around me, like I'm not gonna like fake like I like you, you know? Like I'm just not gonna do that. So if you're around me, like I really like you. So anytime, even if people aren't aligned with me, like anytime that somebody just can't go,
girl, I think you done freed me from
you know,
something.
I still feel it. Like the feelings were still genuine. Like I felt the pain too. So it's like, we're gonna celebrate letting go and just doing it because it's good for us, you know? And like, you know, I'm also learning, like, there has been times, just because I've seen it even with my people, like there's certain people that, or certain people, certain things, just anything like that they had to let go for it sometimes to like work. Yeah, it to work. And so it's like I've seen, like, even in my family, like people that weren't there anymore and then they resurface, and it's just like people, like, I don't know, like things, we haven't lived long enough, you know what I'm saying, to see that thing. So it's like, I don't know, like I'm just letting go, letting things be, letting things flow, like whatever comes, whatever leaves, leaves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm celebrating that and drinking to that.
I'll drink to that, okay? Because change is inevitable, and that's the best thing about it. Hello, come on. Y'all, that was a good one. Hello. Let me see. What am I gonna drink to tonight, y'all? Oh, mine's gonna be simple, and I'm sorry, it's gonna be real vain too, y'all. I'm gonna drink too. I got a hair appointment this weekend. I was feeling a little down in the dumps, but there's a ram in the bush.
Girl,
her name is Crystal.
Ain't nothing like getting your hair done.
Listen,
nothing. Like, to me, anytime I get my hair done, like my month, my day is just, my day can't be bad. Like, it can't. To me, that's just like the icing on the cake.
Like, thank you for that.
Like, that's all I need.
No, and I need my hair done yesterday. So I'm getting my hair done this weekend, and I'm gonna act like I don't know anybody. Y'all, oh my God. Today was so good. This was such a good episode with Monti. Yes, okay, hold on. But I know you don't want the people to find you, you know, so I'm not gonna make you say that no more. But
I was about to say, you can like put my @ name in here. I just don't know it, honestly, y'all. Like,
yeah.
One day, my mind might change, and I'll be like, you know what? But right now, it's like, we're just gonna keep it.
I know that's right. You know, sometimes you just need peace a little bit more than you need pieces of other people. I feel that. So, yeah, girl, but y'all know I'm putting mine out there too. Number 7 is SEVON on all social media platforms. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the newsletter, www.illgrabthewine.com, because I am actually going to make a list of the books that we're going to get into on book club, okay? So then, and then you can go back and you can check out all of the book club reviews that I've already done that are on my website. But make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so you can keep up to date on everything, y'all. Stay up to date. Let's see. And make sure y'all hit the subscribe button for me, please. If you could, make sure you remember to hit the subscribe button. You've been here this whole time. You didn't even click subscribe. Like, what type of sense do that make, honey? Come on, stay with it. So, yes, y'all, this is a really good show. And I really appreciate you for coming and dropping them jewels, Monty. Okay, girl. I'll see you, Miss Ma'am. Y'all, until next time, I'll
Okay.
grab the wine.
Bye, girl.
Bye.